8 hard commits. That includes Parson, so it may not
Mhm.
be 8 hard commits. The 3 4-stars. I was going to ask you who you liked from this class. You filled in
Mhm.
Lamont Green Jr. for sure,
Yep. I
and
like Keith
Van Trivius
Sampson.
Jacobs to a certain extent.
I like Keith Sampson. I like him a lot. The defensive tackle they got committed from North Carolina. A little bit of a surprise that he committed. Some thought that NC State was going to be the eventual home. You know, NC State's going to fight for him, but I think that his bond with Odell Higgins is going to be very hard to beat. Here's a guy who all is 6'3", doesn't even look like he weighs 300 pounds, but he's over 300 pounds, moves really well. I'm a big fan of his. And, I think that Jacobs maybe surprised some people at the FSU camp because he missed most of last year, if all of last year. So you really haven't seen him play since he was a sophomore. Did a really good job stretching the field. So, and I'm a big fan of Randy Pittman, the tight end they have committed. I don't know if you remember way back in the mid 2000s, they had a tight end for 1 year, Brandon Warren from Tennessee.
Yep.
He ended up transferring to Tennessee. Very, very similar to his game. He's 6'1", maybe 6'2", about 230 pounds, but he's a playmaker. You can use him at H-back, split him out in the slot, use him come out of the backfield, kind of like Gabe Neighbors, who's now with the Chargers. So I'm a big fan of him, and I really want FSU to hold on to Pittman. He's entertaining some other offers and some other schools, so interested to see what happens there.
Got Nate Greer here from Knoll Game Day again. Thursdays, right here on YouTube at 8:30 Eastern Time. They get together on Florida State Football Talk, and of course, you can join us here, the Voice of College Football, for FSU Seminoles Live Wednesday at 6. So, who on this staff are you trusting their judgment, that are really grinding it out, going after guys, getting the job done, and who needs to step it up?
Yeah, I think Norvell's doing a good, he's a head coach. He has to do well. Alex Atkins stands out, I think, to a lot of people. Just got promoted to offensive coordinator. I think he's one of the best offensive line coaches in the country. I don't think he's not number 4 or 5. I think he's 1, 2, or 3. I think that highly of him. And the way he connects with recruits, when you talk to them, the FSU staff is now, when you look at the pictures from this weekend, his face is with a lot of guys that aren't with the O-line. You see him with some of the wide receivers. You see him with quarterbacks. Getting him out there with some more of their top targets, I think FSU's got to do that. I think he's one of the best up-and-coming coaches in the country. That's the reason why FSU gave him a raise this year, to hold on to him. I know Georgia came after him a little bit. Odell Higgins, Odell's a little revived, man. Odell's the old dog, but he knows Florida, he knows Polk County, he knows Miami, he knows the DMV area really well. I think he's the past few years you can't say anything about Odell. Marcus Woodson, I'll tip my cap to him. I think he does a really good job recruiting. He does a really good job evaluating. I'll go back real quick to Hunter Washington, who he transferred out this past year, but he's the guy that he saw Auburn a few years ago in a summer camp and latched on to him real quick, and he ended up being one of his first commitments at FSU. After that, I had questions, man. Ron Dugans has been there for quite a while. The wide receiver room is very barren. That guy that hit the portal really hard this past offseason, which I'm sure you talked about a ton with Logan and James and that whole bunch. He signed a 1-year deal, which I was kind of surprised. I know behind the scenes they did talk to some other coaches, but he's got to land some people. You look at Coach Thompson. I think Coach Thompson's on the staff because he's worked with Norvell before. He's been a head coach you need one of those guys on your staff that can help you with everything that's behind the scenes. He's got to recruit better, but I don't think that's his main job. If you get what I'm saying, I do have to say JP. John Pachi, I always mess up his last name. I call him JP. I think I'll put him in the doing a good job category. Randy Shannon, first year back on staff. Again, is he a retread? Is he someone that's motivated? Again, there's only 2 names on the board. He's done a good job recruiting Blake Nicholson, but he's from California and he's been to Oregon like 5 times. So you got to follow the visits. It's a pivotal year, and I think Norvell's got to win at least 8 games, or FSU's at worst looking at a complete overhaul in the staff. To say that you only have 2, 3, 4 coaches that can recruit well in the state of Florida, that's not a good sign, and that's not saying anything negative other than what it realistically is. Florida State never has struggled in the state of Florida to recruit up until recently. And there's no ties on the staff to Florida other than Coach Dugans and Coach Higgins. And one of them is not doing their job. Randy Shannon's got a ton of ties, but he was in an off-field role as an analyst. He was limited. His name in Miami is well respected. Having Randy Shannon is going to get you into every school, going to get you into homes in Miami, but they gotta win, man. That's what it comes down to. I can't talk recruiting without winning right now. I'm scoring, man. I'm a scorned FSU fan.